Hey, what's going on, guys? How are your meatballs? This is your full Season 3 solo Outbreak Easter egg guide. With the second Outbreak Easter egg coming in Season 4, make sure to subscribe this way you don't miss out on all the eliteness to come when that and all the other future Zombies content drops. As always, I'll be providing you guys with all the steps with explanations, locations, elite tips, visual guides that you can screenshot, and much more, so stay tuned for the entire video. Also note that there's different sections of the video labeled for your convenience to navigate through each section and step if you want. Just note that. And I also want to say that I will also be attempting my notorious 1-minute Easter egg guide for this later today, so stay tuned for that. It'll be more of a recap guide as usual. Last side note, I stream Zombies every single day on Twitch at twitch.tv/showmat123. Let's get to partner. Come on out to the streams. Let's go. So as for the pregame, your weapon classes and field upgrade, you're going to want to run this M16 class that you're seeing on your screen. You're going to be using this gun and this gun only for the entirety of the game. And as for your field upgrade, you're going to be running the Ether Shroud. Hopefully you'll have it upgraded to tier 5. This way you have the 2 charges, the speed, all the great benefits that come with it. If not, that's a little bit of a yikes, but try to have that to tier 5 and you'll be good to go. Now we're going to be moving into the next section, which is the beginning notes and tips. So tip number 1 is to complete all the side quests on the individual map that you spawn in on, with the exception of Orta. If you see Orta, it's not worth it to fight him. Just ignore the prick. He's being annoying. Leave him alone. Open your stat screen /map and look at all the red markers on the map that are objectives, of course, aside from the main objective, and complete all those quests in order to earn bonus points and salvage. This way you can get your armor early, more notably upgrade your weapon rarity early, and that's going to be led into tip 2 and 3. But you're going to really want to get as much salvage and points as early as possible on rounds 1 and 2. And again, let's go to tip number 2 because that kind of all flows into each other. So tip number 2, you'll be going into the boss fight on wave 5, so you want to have all your perks, your M16 triple pack punched and golden armor at least to tier 2, all of that stuff ready to go by wave 4, because on wave 5 you're going to be going right into the missile silos. It's called, it's a secret area, and then eventually to the boss fight. From there, there's going to be no more progression, so you're going to want to be set up by the end of wave 4. Grind out lots of points from zombies and chests and objectives on waves 1 and 2. Of course, you still have time on waves 3 and 4, but since you're doing nothing on waves 1 and 2, might as well get your grinding in then. This leads right into tip number 3. You're going to just want to make sure that you're upgrading your gun from red to blue on wave number 1, then do the red crystal Easter egg. I'm sure you guys already know what that is by now, but it'll give you a free ether wrench, which upgrades the rarity, the weapon rarity of your weapon. That was redundant, but you get what I'm saying. By doing this, you could potentially have your gun purple by the end of round 1, and if you get really lucky with the crystal Easter egg, by the end of round 2, you could have gold. So you should easily have gold by wave 5. Just make sure in round 1 you're doing as much as you can to get as much salvage and points. As I said, you can get that gun from red to blue. If you have a crystal Easter egg on wave 1, you can even get your gun to purple, but just make sure you're being conscientious of everything available to you in the map. Make sure you're grinding a lot at the beginning rounds. This way your weapons are set up and you have no issues later on fighting either the zombies or the boss, despite the M16 actually being very powerful no matter what. This brings us into tip number 4, which is to upgrade the tactical rifle skill to tier 5 for the most effectiveness. Is this necessary? Quote unquote necessary? No, but of course, why not have that bonus damage? A nice little tip for you if you don't already have that upgrade it to tier 5, the tactical rifle skill. Now, moving on to tip number 5, use brain rot as your ammo mod. Plain and simple, it just seems to be the best. Now moving to tip number 6, turn on subtitles. You're going to need them for literally the first step of the Easter egg. So step 1, radios and beacon listening device. In order to do the first step of the Easter egg, you must make your way to wave 3. This spawns in the radio. Your job will be to find the main Easter egg radio on your map and interact with it, allowing it to be linked with the other 3 amplifiers nearby. The locations for the radio on every map are on your screen right now, and once you find and interact with the main radio, you'll have to wait a few seconds for it to say active static noise followed by a number. Your job is to go to each of the 3 amplifiers around the map after interacting with the main radio and tune them to that frequency number. So in this game it was 7, as read on the subtitles, so I tuned all 3 amplifiers to the number 7. Sometimes an amplifier will even say feedback before it gets to the right number, and there'll be a delay. Just wait it out and then change it to the correct number. You'll also hear Max's talk when you change it to the correct number, so just note that. Sometimes you'll just need to wait a second. I don't know why it happens. It's annoying, but just wait it out, change it to the right number, and you'll be good to go. Just make sure you're using the subtitles as a guide. Now, once all 3 amplifiers are on the right frequency, you can run back to the main radio and interact with it to get free points and the beacon listening device, of course, used for another step of the Easter egg. Proceed to complete the main objective on the map if you haven't done so already, and interact with the anomaly to spawn the beacon as usual. You notice when you click on the beacon, though, that there is a 3rd option, to respond. Activate that option, the respond option, and then you may proceed to warp out of the map if you want to pack a punch, upgrade your armor, whatever you want to do right now. You can do that. Just make sure you hit the respond option before you warp to the next map. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it on the next map, and it's going to push you back a wave, and it's going to really make stuff annoying and could mess up a lot of stuff. So just get it done right now. Now we're moving on to step 2, the monkey bomb statue locations and projector. Now your next step is to check all the monkey bomb statue locations for the monkey marked with an M next to it. All the locations for every map are on your screen right now. However, only one monkey will be marked with an M next to it, as it's the one that was set up in the previous map after contacting Max's from the beacon, the respond option, and then warping to your current map. It's a symbol for just some storyline information. So you're going to want to find that monkey with an M, and once you find the correct monkey, just check all 4 monkeys. There's only 4 monkeys on each map. Once you find the correct monkey, it'll be marked with an M once again. Shoot the monkey, and if it was the one marked with an M, you notice that it will drop the microfilm. Take this microfilm to a projector on the same map and insert it, of course. All the locations for all maps and projectors are shown on your screen right now. I already showed you guys graphics for each and every single one of the maps. You can screenshot that. There's probably some footage playing in the background as well, guiding you guys through some things as well, but there's that. Now, no zombie should attack you while you're doing the projector, so just wait for quotes and continue to cycle through the 4 or 5 slides until you see a repeating slide / can flip through more slides without waiting for quotes. Once you can keep flipping through slides, you know you're done. If you haven't been paying attention to the slides, for example, that's the indicator that you can continue. So now all you want to do is complete the main objective on the map. Make sure your setup is 100% complete, because you should now be on wave 4, and then you can warp away, and it will always warp you to Ruka, because this is now the final part of the Easter egg. Not the boss fight yet, but the final part that will lead to the final ending thing that will lead to the boss fight. That didn't make too much sense, but just make sure you're set up now. That's what I'm trying to say. Make sure your setup is 100% complete, whether it's a gold weapon, full armor, whatever it may be, have that done. So step number 3 is to enter the missile silos and lift the lockdown. Make your way to the Mark Star objective on the map located at the missile silos and jump into the elevator. Interact with the panel, and once you hit the bottom, immediately run out to your left. Take the zip line up to the top area, which will always be area D. You're going to spawn in area D and run through the middle opening to side A. Jump down to the ground floor and lift the lockdown in this area. A cutscene will play. Wait for it to finish, and you'll be good to go. No, the Easter egg is not done, but you're going to be beginning the ending sequence that will lead to the boss fight. Note that if you have stamina upgraded to tier 5, you will not take any fall damage, so don't be scared to fall or jump off. You will not die. It's actually really good and beneficial. Make sure you jump off to what would be your usual death in the older zombies game. Take advantage of the Cold War zombies mechanics to save yourself, because the zombies are very, very aggressive. Take advantage of that tier 5 stamina. Jump off staircases, jump off railings, do whatever you have to do to make sure you do not die, because if you die, especially with the points in Outbreak, it could be a real struggle, and you may have to start over, all over again. So try not to die. Now, upon lifting the lockdown and of course the cutscene finishing, you notice that you have gained access to areas D, A, and now B. Area A is where there's an armor machine, area B is where there's a pack punch machine, and area D is where there's a perk machine located. I like to remember it like this: A is for armor, B is blue, and the pack punch machine is blue, so D must be the perk machine. Also, I think it's pretty important to note that located in the middle area of all this is where there's a crafting station where all the rooms intersect. Now, as soon as the cutscene ends, run through the middle computer room, which again is that room with the crafting station, and about 20 friggin' mimics will spawn in. Simply train around at the top of either A, B, or D, and it'll just make it easier on you, and just take out these mimics. Take as much time as you need. There's no rush. They'll probably drop you ammo as well. There's going to be a lot of them, so be ready. Now, moving on to step number 4 is to retrieve the 3 keys. Now, there's a quest for each of the 3 keys, and we're going to be doing this in a specific order for simplicity's sake. It's going to be the dead man, the jellyfish, then the essence trap. You may be confused by that right now, but it'll be completely clear when we're done. So the dead man mimic key. Interact with the dead man in front of the closed door by the inaccessible area C. Kill the mimic that pops out of him. He'll be a little bit more beefy, and a key will drop from him. That's 1 out of 3 keys done. Now the jellyfish key. Interact with the canister on the floor of area B. This will allow you to shoot the purple ethereum crystals all around the room, whether it's in and right next to the missile silos, or on the ceilings, or on the walls, wherever it may be. Once you shoot them, you notice that smaller crystals will pop out of them. If you're getting loot, make sure you have already pressed on the canister. If you break the crystals before you interact with the canister, you will not get these miniature crystals. Interact with the canister thing, then shoot the crystals. You get the miniature crystals, and you'll be good to go from there. From around the room, you have to collect and deposit 20 total mini crystals into the speed canister by holding interact on the canister. You can also shoot the zombies to defend yourself as you're doing it if you turn around while holding the interact button. So just note that it may still be ballsy and annoying, but at least you can shoot at this point. Do this at your own pace though. You do not want to die. I cannot stress this enough. Do not die. If you need to, use Ether Shroud to give you breathing room, but only try to reserve it for cases in which you're about to die. So maybe just stand there straight, maybe shoot a little bit, and if you're really about to die, then activate Shroud, if that makes sense. You just really don't want to die. I keep saying it, but you do not want to die in Outbreak. It's not a good idea. Anyways, once you have successfully deposited all 20 crystals, you have to wait a couple of seconds for the charge canister to pop back out. Take this to area D on this staircase right here next to the jellyfish, and make sure that you're standing right here on this blue grass, and then activate your canister the same way you would to activate your Ether Shroud. You get sucked into the jellyfish, where your job is now to just spam the interact button, whether it's square, X, whatever it may be, or F, to pick up the key from a floating zombie. You'll see it right in his hand. Pick it up. That's 2 out of 3 keys done. Now the final key is the essence trap key. You're going to retrieve the essence trap from the dead-end hallway in silo A. In silo A, there are these open vents all around the room. Find the vent where the blue orb ghost monkey is. Throw the essence trap on the floor regardless of the distance from the monkey. If the monkey's in a high vent, just throw it on the floor and run away from the trap. You should soon read in the subtitles that the target is in range or something like that, and you could use the essence trap by double tapping the interact button, whether again that is X, F, square, whatever it may be, just like you would with a C4, for example, to activate the essence trap, pick up the key from the essence trap. As the monkey soul will get sucked in, he'll give you the key. That should be 3 out of 3 keys done. Now moving on to step 5, you're going to start the launch sequence. Now in rooms A, B, and D, there are computers that look like this and have rectangular lights on them. Look at the lights and note which one is green, 1, 2, or 3 in each respective area, of course. In my game, you notice that for the A computer, the first light was green. For the B computer, you notice that the second light was green, and for the D computer, of course, you notice that the third light was green. This changes every single game, so just check the lights in your game. It's not too much to ask for, of course, and then activate the computers in the correct sequence based on the number of the green light of that computer. This means that for me, since the first light was green on A, the second light was green on B, and the third light was green on D, that the order in which I have to activate the computers is A, B, D. Very simple. On solo, you must be very, very fast to get this done, so don't waste any time. If you fail, just wait about 30 seconds and you should be able to redo it. But make sure you're sprinting. Of course, you have stamina, but make sure you're sprinting. Do not waste any time because it comes down to the final second sometimes. Now moving on to step number 6, which is to defeat the Legion boss. Now as soon as you activate the launch sequence with the computers, run to the door atop the stairs in the middle ground of all the silos. Of course, this is the area where the crafting station is. If you need to, at this point, grab monkey bombs from that crafting station, as it may help you to shoot the boss and save an ether shroud charge, for example. Also, make sure to repair your armor at this point in time. You're going to probably lose it in the boss fight anyways, but you might as well repair your armor. This way you have something during the boss fight. Now once you're set, you may enter the boss fight by interacting with the door atop those stairs. You will now be on a timer, yes, a timer, to kill the boss. Now to take down the boss, you must first shoot him in the blue spot on his chest, anywhere you see damage numbers. If it says immune, shoot higher, shoot around. He's never ever at one point immune, at least to my knowledge, unless they change it at some point. So just keep shooting around until you actually get damage numbers, usually in the blue chest marker, in the glowing chest, or a little bit above. Also, get as close as possible to the boss, as the closer you are, the more damage you deal, as seen if you have damage numbers enabled. But anyways, you must first shoot the boss to the point where he goes down and exposes his orbs. Monkey bombs may help at this point, of course, or ether shroud. Another free trick though is really to just jump atop some of the shacks. This way you have barely anything hitting you, right, for 3-4 seconds, as you lay a ton of bullets into him. Jump on these shacks, these different little huts, and you should be able to get free shots on the boss. The second he goes down, I'd activate ether shroud, honestly, or throw a monkey bomb if you can, but that may waste a lot of time. But just do whatever you have to do super fast to then be able to focus on one of his orbs. Shoot at only one of the orbs at a time, and if you put enough damage into it, it'll burst, taking away 1/3 of his health. Just make sure that you're as close to him as possible once again, while staying safe, because the closer you are, again, the more damage you'll deal. Like with the M16 in a game that I did with Jack, literally it was doing half the damage. I got closer and it was doing double the damage. Like, what? Make sure you're getting as close as possible. Of course, again, while always staying safe. And once all 3 orbs are destroyed, meaning you broke his armor, destroyed an orb, broke his armor, destroyed an orb, broke his armor, destroyed an orb, you did that process 3 times, he will then be dead. My recommendation is to really only use ether shroud when you need to, and to try to recharge it as much as possible if you do use it. Of course, if you have it upgraded to tier 5, you do have 2 charges, so really make sure you're taking full advantage of shroud during this boss fight. For me personally, it's the best bet. Now the main goal is to not die, obviously, as you really do have plenty of time, a lot more time than you may think. You have plenty of time to down him more than 3 times and to destroy the orbs, so don't rush or don't get, stressed out because of the time. You have plenty of time, I can promise you that. Just make sure you're focusing on not dying, getting the job done, and you'll be good. One thing to note is that he has a few different attacks though. So if you see a floating kind of like electrical ball, there'll also be kind of like a radius around it. Run away from that area, otherwise you're gonna probably either insta down or you're gonna get shredded pretty quickly. Now if you see some purple gas either around you, or if he has purple gas very close to him, do not enter it, as you'll probably die you will die very quickly in that. You won't insta down, but you're gonna die really quickly. I think it takes away like 50 health points per like second, so you don't want to do that. Be very careful of that. Now just be smart and do what you need to do, of course, be it training and shooting, throwing a monkey bomb, or using ether shroud to quickly lay a ton of bullets, as I kept telling you guys, into the bullets to down him, and then also destroy his orbs, as of course always as safely as possible. Again, only focus on a singular orb at a time, and bam. As I said before, upon destroying that 3rd and final orb, you'll beat the Season 3 Easter egg for Outbreak and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies by defeating the Legion boss. If this helped you out, make sure you drop a thumbs up. Make sure, of course, you are subscribed for more eliteness. Check out my Twitch live streams every single day, and peace.
I've been wishing for some better days. Could you listen? No, why can you stay?